This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk4Media.
G'day guys, welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene, and I am trying Pamela Anderson's hairdo. Her stylist put out this thing where you could do her hairdo by putting a G-string in your hair. It's really a thing. I tried it. It actually works. Mine doesn't actually have a G-string in it. Believe it or not, I don't have a lot of G-strings. And they have lace in them, and they would have got stuck. You're very familiar with my thong collection, so
yeah.
Like you have to admit they would get stuck.
Yeah,
or there's the one with like the pearls on it that you got me. That would be worse.
It caught in between the pearls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not good.
How much more?
I'm Summer Helene. This is like now falling down. I'm trying so hard. I want Pamela Anderson's hair. I'm on like claw clip number 417. I want Pamela Anderson's updo.
Yeah.
And it's not working. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene. I'm going to talk badly about Michaela and the Duchess of Windsor 2.0.
And the Duchess of Windsor.
Which
is the Duchess of Windsor again?
Oh, that's the lying slut bag from Sussex. I'm Summer Helene. We are on with my co-host, the baddest bear in the cage, Bear Fiorda. And I probably shouldn't call her a lying slut bag because the truth is, like, points to her. She was a yacht girl. Mm-hmm. She was, she banged her way to the top. And I'm not going to knock that. I think get yours, Bear. Get your money. My problem is the way she's handling the monarchy now.
Okay.
Like, she's still trying to feed that money off. It's literally, she's a Duchess of Windsor 2.0. But like the other Duchess of Windsor had way more class.
Which one's the Duchess of Windsor again?
The one that ran off with the king that abdicated.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
That partnered with the Nazis.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
But instead, she partnered with the Prime Minister of Jamaica who wants to leave the monarchy, went over to the One Love premiere and basically said, fuck the British monarchy and fuck the Commonwealth. And we're still trying to get this Pamela Anderson hair. If any of you can do this, let me know how. Like, go to Insta, go to YouTube, tell me how to fix this because I followed the tutorial and it's not working. But essentially, she's saying fuck the British monarchy.
Okay. And this meaning that she's not a part of it anymore, but she wants
no, she's still a part of
it, or she doesn't want.
No, she wants what she wants. She wants to be the Queen of England.
Oh, well, that's kind of the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, being king and queen can't be that bad. It sounds like kind of a pretty good gig.
But it's a selfless gig.
What do you mean?
Your entire life is about other people.
Okay.
It's about helping other people. It's a life of service. So you find someone, I think the biggest problem they have, and I'm going to blame Diana, and this is going to be really unpopular, but Princess Diana had this hard push of treating her sons equally. In life, her sons are never going to be treated equally. William was always going to be king. And he was always going to have more responsibility. And Harry always was going to have a choice on what he wanted to do with his life. And the reality is Harry always had the better road. And because everyone felt sorry for him because he, wasn't going to be king, he got to choose his own life. They overcompensated by giving him more.
Yeah.
They turned him into a spoiled brat. And he's married a woman that is leaning into the spoiled brat narrative. And the reality is, like, I am not opposed to you screwing your way to the top. Like, if you can do that, good for you. I don't have that skill set. I'm not that good in bed. I need a lot more practice if that's going to happen. Like, but if I could have done it, I'd have done it.
I'm your only practice.
Fine. But no offense, babe, I'd leave you for Prince William.
I'd leave you for Prince William.
Yeah, high fives. I like the Princess of Wales.
Right.
So I wouldn't consider it.
Yeah, I think it's something that other people consider is when you look at Harry and you look at William and you think, oh, this one's going to be king, this one's not going to be king. and he's going to be the brother. He's always going to be that spare, you know, they talk about like that.
Yeah.
So everyone else has the perspective of, oh, let's make him feel better because he's missing out on this opportunity. But it's not considered that he gets to be whatever he wants now. Not only does he get to be whatever he wants, he gets every advantage in the world to do that to live that out. William has every advantage in the world so long as it leads to him being king, because that's his only outcome.
He was born to serve.
Right.
It is. He may have been born in a golden cage, but he was still born in a cage.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And so I think what people miss out on is, you know, Harry got to choose any wife he wanted. He got a twice divorced American actress.
That's because they didn't want any more.
Because they were trying to avoid the scandals.
Yeah.
Like Prince William loved Catherine Middleton, but debated whether or not to bring her in because of the life it would cost her.
Okay. And clearly she's done well with the role.
She's done beautifully, but they dated for years and years and years, and she learned very slowly. Where when you look at the Duchess of Windsor 2.0, she was given lessons, contrary to the lie she told. The Queen actually brought someone in. Sorry, I'm showing my bra straps. To teach her princess lessons.
Yeah.
She had somebody come in to help her. She was taken with the Queen on an outing, which she refused to dress appropriately for. Immediately, nobody got that treatment. Everything was streamlined for Harry to make him feel better. They moved Princess Eugenia's wedding because of the order of precedence. Prince Harry gets to get married first. Then the Duchess of Windsor 2.0 tried to take Eugenia's tiara.
You mean the one that's like hers, the one she was going to wear?
The one she was wearing that was her grandmother's, the emerald. But of course,
Her Majesty stopped her from wearing it at all.
Her grandmother said no.
Good.
The Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah. So I find the entire thing appalling. The way she's behaved, the way she's handled this, even down to the lies told in the Oprah interview. Just from a marketing perspective, the royal family would have been thrilled that Harry came back with a woman that wasn't white. Do you know how good that makes them look? Like cutting everything else out. If there was any racism, it was them leaning into fast tracking this marriage to go, look, we have a chick that's not white. Because they were the last house in Britain, the last one that did not currently have a member of color. Like you can look, there are some beautiful princesses. There are some beautiful people. But she tried to push like, oh, I'm the first Black woman to marry into the English aristocracy. No, you're not. Lady Rose, by the way, rock star. She is incredible. She's put together project after project. She comes from my world. She's a Hollywood girl too. And she's just not a bitch like Meghan.
Very good then.
But I'd like to remind everyone, every time we use bad language, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and Free MMA. We swear because we care.
Fuck yeah.
So this hoe, my favorite one they've used so far is like Hank and Skank. They've given her a million.
Right.
They've given him a million monikers like Megain and and it was Megan and the Puppet. But I think Hank and Skank. Megain. Megain is accurate, but Hank and Skank is right. I think what I find so offensive is she had an interview with Oprah.
Yes.
She lied.
Yes. Profusely.
The
Omid Scobie thing.
Omid Scobie also lies.
Yeah.
Omid Scobie's a fucking idiot. By the way, Omid Scobie, you're an idiot. Everyone knows you're lying. It's great that you're a mouthpiece for Hank and Skank. But what's going to happen when he wakes up? Think about your career. Like, I get that he is in a narcissistic relationship. Shout out to HG Tudor. If you guys get a chance, check this dude out.
Yeah.
I like HG
Great
Tudor.
channel. Really talks about narcissism and goes in depth into the Meghan
He
dynamic.
is an actual narcissist himself.
Yeah.
So he really goes into this dynamic. But eventually, this bloke's going to wake up and go, oh my God.
I screwed my life over for this woman.
Completely. I mean, or he could turn out just like his uncle and invite the Nazis in, which seems to be the road he's going.
That's a little hard pressed for me to say that he'll invite actual Nazis into his life, but okay, we'll leave that on the table, I guess.
Anywho.
It's not that it didn't happen before.
Yeah. This wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Duchess of Windsor 2.0. and her lapdog moron husband.
They're ruining the name.
So bad. Really, really, really have kind of screwed with the monarchy. But what I find so terrible about this, so for those that don't know, I went to finishing school, I went to private schools in Australia. My family was very solidly middle class, but I was raised with every possible advantage.
Okay.
There are certain protocols and behaviors, certain ways you're supposed to behave. Even me, and I'm nobody.
You still have expectations.
There's expectations. Well, I feel like that in society in general. Like I have a real problem with people going out in their pajamas, or when people are like, "Hey, this is me. I just want to show the world who I am." Keep it at home. Nobody cares.
No one wants to see you for who you are.
Pretty much. Like I'm gonna quote Pete Davidson here. Like when Kanye got off his meds.
Get on him.
Get on him. This is where we are as a society.
Imagine if your pilot comes on and says, "This is the real me flying the plane." I
love get off the plane.
Yeah, get out.
That's where I am socially. What I want to see from people is manners. It's not a high bar. Put on some clothes if you're going to go in public. Be polite. I don't need to hear your phone call. I don't need to see you doing your TikTok. I don't need to be a part of your life.
You don't need any of it.
Keep your shit to yourself. If you want to be a live streamer, if you want to do all that shit, do it privately. If you're going to fight with your boyfriend, do it in public. I can tell you. No, I'm kidding. Do it in public. Do it in public. Do it in front of everyone. But other than that drama to entertain me, which I wouldn't do, by the way, you can ask Bear. I will not criticize, argue with, or embarrass him in public.
Yes.
Like I'll play around with him, but that is a hard line for him.
No, she's very kind. I am very much against public humiliation in any regard.
And I just see people behaving in a way that I find appalling. And they're like, well, this is me. This is how I want to dress. Like I've seen porn as a lock screen for phones. You're in public. This is your public facing phone. Like
it's a bit much.
That's a little bit much. If you're going to have your phone in public, don't do that. It's not a high bar. Just don't be a douchebag.
We've got a wild
Put
story
on some
about that,
decent. I want to hear. Put on some decent clothing. Go out in public. Have a little bit of manners. It's not hard. Like you can ask Bear when we were dating. He still opens car doors. He pulls out chairs. He does all of that. I would not have dated him if he didn't. That is a requirement for me.
My mother raised me very well.
She did.
That's the best way I can put it. She is the number one rock star in my life. She has helped me be the man that I am today. Do
you go out in your pajama shorts that your peenie hangs out of?
It doesn't hang out.
It might be in the Star Wars ones. It did.
But that's I'm not going to like a store like that. I'm going to walk out of my front yard, baby.
Okay. Are you going to, when you go in public, be doing your TikTok and walking in front of people?
No, I'm way too nervous about that.
But that's the
my
point.
social anxiety is too high to film in public like that.
But that's the thing. What we need is shame. I am not opposed to shame. I would like to see people be more embarrassed by their behavior.
Really?
Not the ones that are aroused by it, which reminds me, today's guest, we're talking to the host of Kink4Dummies. So we'll be talking about that kink a little bit today. I want to hear your story before we intro her.
Right. So I was just saying that like when I was in high school, there was this kid. Everyone was like kind of, they weren't like, he's not like a bad kid. No one disliked him. He just wasn't super popular, but he was on his phone excessively in his class. And he's one of my teachers I was TAing for. And he told me that, I took this kid and I took his phone, and he was very, very hesitant. Like I don't want to give you my phone. I don't want you to see my phone, nothing. And I think he said something to the effect of like, if you show me what's on your phone, basically in some way he got to see it, right?
I don't know if we just cut out. I was signing into StreamYard. I was actually signing into YouTube. Our producer did not sign us in, so I will remove one of her toes after the show.
Well, hopefully we didn't
cut out. Keep going.
Long story short, he managed to get the phone. He saw what's on the phone, and this kid had been watching tons of hardcore pornography the entire class. He just had a stream, because I guess it's in his history, just a stream of hardcore porn for like the last 50 minutes.
I thought you were against porn.
No, I was super into porn at the time. I am now against porn because the mindset it can, like the negative impact it can have on the mind of young men.
What do you mean?
What?
Explain.
Oh, well, it gives you very unrealistic expectations and kind of hinders your ability to perform when it comes to sexual activities. It really desensitizes you.
You haven't had any problem performing.
I think I've had my own issues. It's not like a cut and dry, everyone's going to have the same problems. Okay. You know what I mean? those are just some of the bigger ones that can impact people for long-term use of pornography. But anyways, that was just the thing. It was, and it took the whole school found out. I don't know how it spread. Only the teacher and this kid knew, but as long as if it's a good story, it's going to get out there. But anyways, yeah, that's all.
Were you the kid?
No, I was thankfully not the kid.
Did you watch porn at school?
Absolutely. 100%. I got into pornography when I was 9 years old, and then I had
9.
And I was even watching it into my adulthood, which led to other problems. And now that I shouldn't say, like, you never quite get over an addiction, but now that I've kicked it from my life, it's really hard to like stay away and not see triggers, and that's the things that bother you. And I guess for this kid, something got him in the mood at school, and that was it.
He's a teenage boy. He's always in the mood.
Well, speaking of being in the mood and not teenage boys,
shout out to Tiny Bubbles Hair Salon. This is not where I want to go.
I thought you were segueing. You said we want to bring on our guests.
I wanted to shout out because my hair looks good.
Okay.
Shout out to Tiny Bubbles Hair Salon. Thank you very, very much for always getting me red carpet ready. Tousled Mane. She did my latest dye job. I love her. Make sure you're following her online. KM Extends. They do all my wigs, hair extensions, all of that. Really, really good. If you guys are going on a carpet and you need a red carpet look, that's a perfect way to go. Off-Road Rentals is our giveaway for today. So if you want an ATV ride, jump on YouTube, jump on, I don't want to call it X.
Jump on Twitter.
Yeah, it's Twitter.
Okay. Jump on new Twitter. What should they be the question? They need a contest for it.
I want to give a shout out to Bombshell Tans. I actually do all my red light there. Fresh Coachella for his hair.
Yes.
Lexi Las Vegas. Amazing. And I am going to ask my guest. I actually just had my face done. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, where they jammed lasers into my face.
They cut you open?
They did. They jammed lasers everywhere.
Do the lasers, is it like a movie laser where it burns you, or is it like infrared kind of laser where it just kind of touches you?
No, it hurt.
Oh, okay.
But they put a numbing cream on.
Okay. A numbing cream.
Yeah, I'm going to actually put up a link so you guys can see it being done. I remember I was on last week with like an ice roller because I couldn't put makeup on. But so the whole point of it is my skin's all loose right now. Well, I've lost like
it's malleable.
I've lost like 15 pounds. I have another 30 pounds to go to get back down to where I need it to be.
Well, for one, congratulations.
Thank you. I love Ozempic. No, I'm taking Wegovy, which is like the high dose Ozempic, but I'm on weight loss shots. Apparently, there's a better one. My OBGYN told me about.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So I went to get my checked. Everything's great, by the way.
Well, I'm glad they're doing research on that kind of stuff.
Well, there's an
it can lead to like depression and suicidal thoughts. There have been some pretty bad side effects for some people on that stuff.
Well, I'm having the side effects. That's the problem. And one of them is this. So I went to Renaissance MD. Renaissance MD is the one that lasered my face.
Just to clarify, are you having suicidal thoughts?
No, that's
what I left off on. And you're like, I'm having some of those symptoms, by the way.
No. I meant like nausea. I took like 10 nausea pills. No, I am not suicidal. I'm bitchy, but I'm not suicidal.
I love you.
You were supposed to say I'm not bitchy.
Oh. The shock.
Well, okay, you got to be a masochist for pointing that out right now. Speaking of masochists, sadists, and everything else, see, there's our
segue.
I'd like to welcome to the show. I have like a little fuzzy sticking out right now. I'd like to welcome to the show our very special guest, Alexis Romero. She hosts Alexis's Guide to Assistance, and she hosts Kink4Dummies, or is it Kink4Dummies?
It's Kink.
Welcome to the show. Let's talk about local sluttery.
And speaking of being
how the fuck were we talking about pubic hair?
Speaking of little hairy bits, pubic hair is back in style. It's the first time since the 70s.
No, it was the 80s.
90s.
It went out. So it kind of shrunk. It went from like full hair in the 80s.
Yeah.
Then it was in the 70s. Then it was trimmed in the 80s. Then it was like a landing strip in the 90s. Then in the 2000s, which is when I was modeling, everything got waxed off.
Yeah.
Now, heads up, if you actually wax this off long term, it will never grow back properly. You can ask Alexis, who spent a great deal of time around me. We work together. And Bear, mine doesn't grow properly anymore.
It destroys the follicles after a while.
It means the merkin industry is about to burst open again.
Pardon?
The merkin industry is about to burst open again.
Yeah.
What's a merkin?
Merkin is a vaginal wig or a penile wig. So it's a wig that you put on your hootenanny.
Why would you do that?
Because you want hair and you can't grow. You're someone like me that's waxed once a month for the last 20 years.
Okay.
Since I could grow hair, I have waxed off my hair.
Yeah.
I was modeling full time as an underwear model at 16. So they remove all the hair because they don't want the hair creating uneven patterns in the underwear.
That makes sense.
Actually very reasonable. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, once you hit 30 and you've been ripping that hair out forever, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it kind of stays away.
Now I have I've tried to grow it back.
Well, while we're on this topic, since
it wasn't good.
Since with you being so in the kink community and you hearing from so many different people, is there a broad or wide stance people tend to have on pubic hair? Do they want it shaved? Do they want it hairy? I don't hate it. I don't mind it.
No, you don't like it on me. You are very.
I do not mind at all.
You're giving me the go with this look.
No. The floor is yours.
Meanwhile, you're fuzzy everywhere.
Preference for each and every one.
Pardon?
It's a personal preference for everyone.
Do you like hair or no hair on men?
I prefer groomed. I've had some weird experiences previously, but
we will be coming back to that.
Remember that part?
Yeah,
okay.
Remember
Get the
part.
Weird experiences.
What about on women? You date men and women. Do you prefer hair or no hair on women?
I think it really depends. If it's well groomed, I don't think it ever is an issue. But I think that's in any circumstance. It doesn't have to be.
No hair?
I'm well groomed.
Well groomed. So you have hair, but it's taken care of.
Now we are diving.
See?
We are diving deep.
It can be groomed.
This is where the questions start.
I'm just telling you.
This is not like we're not at the end of the show. We're at the beginning of it right now.
Well, it can only go from here.
Well-groomed pubic hair.
Yes.
But do you have it is it patchy from too many years of waxing, or do you have the actual it looks good pubic hair?
It looks good.
Okay. How the fuck do I get that?
I wasn't. Don't be an underwear model.
You weren't an underwear model. Gotcha.
Buy a merkin.
I'm buying a merkin.
And then we can shave the merkin.
Why? Just because he doesn't like it. You can tell somebody grew up in the 2000s, especially a man.
Yeah.
It's like, no. She has to have nothing.
No, unfortunately, yeah. Marketing's pretty embedded in my head. And your industry's part of the problem.
Oh, my industry is all of the problem.
Yeah, it really is.
Alexis,
but the amount of issues that come with completely bare.
It's terrible.
What issues come with being completely bare?
You are also risk of infection, the amount of ingrown hairs, if it's not properly taken care of, and also the smell changes.
The smell changes? You have a different smell when you have hair?
The scent is stronger when you have pubic hair.
Oh, okay.
And it's more sexually enticing. So the pubic hair actually catches the pheromones.
Interesting. I would not have known that. And I'm okay with that too.
You have plenty of hair. How do you not know that?
So I'm pheromone. We'll leave it at that.
Pheromone.
As of doing this, I know that just on my page where I only do martial arts content, everything I do is something about people hitting each other. I get the weirdest fucking DMs ever. I get people. I've had a grown man send me a penis picture saying he wants to R me. I have had some strange encounters. What, if any stick out to you?
Welcome to being a woman on the internet. That is any woman. You don't have to be you're internet famous. You don't have to be internet famous for that to happen. As a woman, any woman being on the internet is like running through a field of penises while someone is lobbing penises at you. Do you know how many penises I get in a day? Alexis started a redistribution project.
Yes, there is a redistribution project. We have a warning on our social media that every time somebody sends a penis picture, we send the previous penis picture that was sent to us back to them. And I am very forthcoming about the fact that we are going to be redistributing any penis pictures. It's genuinely on everything.
If you send a penis, we will redistribute it.
The funniest bit is the penis picture he sent me. I did forward to her. So she does have it somewhere. But anyways, the question I was going to ask is, what are some of the weirdest either requests or inquiries or questions you've received since you started this program?
I don't think she gets weird ones.
I don't get a lot of weird ones. Everybody in the Kink4Dummies community has been very respectful and very polite. I get a lot of requests for different kinks that they're interested in learning about because we go through kink education and redistribute other educators in the kink community. I get a lot of requests for specific type of content, which I will therefore research and then redistribute.
What is... Go ahead,
what do you think about Nambla trying to join the kink community and the LGBTQ plus community?
That is not acceptable. That is...
they're trying to be qualified as a kink, and they're saying that they're being kink shamed.
That is not a kink. That is sick.
Honestly, I think they had better luck saying that it's a type of person you could be interested in, like an LGBTQ thing, versus calling it a kink. I think a kink actually hurt them.
Well, that was because the LGBTQ plus community told them to fuck off. I believe it was great. Fuck off and die was one of the things they were told. And then the next time they told them to sit on it and spin. I had to Google that one. There was a whole list of responses they've gotten, but on official paperwork, the LGBT communities have been sending them back these foul responses telling them where to go.
I think
I love it.
Kevin Spacey also tried to join and say that it was going to be.
Oh, he tried to say he was not a pedo, he was gay. I was like, you fucked a child. You're a pedo.
You can be a gay pedo.
How about we just take gay out of that? You're just a pedo at that point. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, your alignment of gender or what you're interested in sexually doesn't matter anymore when you pedophile.
Yeah, pretty much. We're not supposed to say that on this.
Oh.
When you're a minor attracted person that deserves to die.
A minor attracted person.
Absolutely.
A map.
Yep.
A map.
That's what they want to be called now. So I think that is a great thing to call them, and we should put exactly the connotation on it that it deserves.
What's the connotation?
Every minor attracted person should have to wear a label on them and be on a registry.
Yeah, if you want to be called Map So Bad, have it, but you have to be identified as it now. That is your life.
I want to know if you're in my neighborhood.
Well, back to you, ma'am. What are some of the more interesting things you've learned? Or because I imagine you had to research some things that you didn't quite know, or maybe you didn't understand full yet. That you've, what are some things you've learned as of being a part of this community and more so running the page?
Hi, Gavin.
There's a lot of things that I've learned. Over the time that I've been running this page, I've researched things thoroughly. Like, I didn't know much about CNC previously. Consensual non-consent.
Oh, he's into that.
A lot of people are.
Why?
Because they're attracted to the idea of somebody forcing them to do something, but they give them the consent to be able to do it prior to.
He calls that wrestling.
Or they're cannibals like Armie Hammer.
We will get into Armie Hammer. Yeah, no, he does that every day. I think you guys call it jujitsu.
Yeah, that's a whole room of people consensually not consenting.
Mm-hmm. I told you he's into it.
I think it's a little bit different. Just
really?
There is no penis insertion.
Okay, but there doesn't always have to be for things to be sexual. Hear me out on it. You're putting people in headlocks.
Yes.
You're on top of them.
Yes.
You're holding them down.
Yes.
Lex, what happens during consensual non-consent?
Pretty much.
Put people in headlocks during consensual non-consent?
Well, it can be.
Okay.
But it can be something as simple as forcing somebody to write lines when they screw up. Like, it doesn't have to be something that is, sexual.
I love the face you just made. That is the indignant child look. That's the look of someone who got put in way too many corners when they were a kid.
Yes. My grandmother made the comment once when I got sent to the corner. I went to the corner. I was like 5 and I went, "Hello, corner." Yes, I had to write a lot of lines and I was in the corner a lot. I was an awful child.
And look at the adult you became now because of it.
I'm still an awful adult.
I wasn't going to say that. But...
I agree.
Oh, my God. Alexis, one of our comments here on YouTube says that you guys should go to dinner again because you had such a good time.
I don't remember going to dinner the first time.
Mr. Thirst.
Mr. Thirst, it was.
I don't remember.
All right. Well, hey, I guess you guys have some catching up to do later on after the show.
But you be warned, Alexis likes to wear the penis in the relationship, so be prepared for that.
Yeah, that's not.
Why do you like that? You like to wear the penis?
Actually, can you explain, if you're aware of it, what is that thought process?
Well, my thing is, every time I've brought that up, and I have brought that up, people ask if she's trans. And I'm like, no, she's very happily a woman. Then why does she want to wear a penis if she's not trans?
Mm-hmm. What an interesting question.
It was a weird, I never thought about it.
Well, I don't know. It's just something that I find appealing, and I like to cause pleasure, and there's a lot of ways that can be created from that.
I do not see how jamming a penis in someone's butt is going to cause pleasure.
Well, because of prostate stimulation.
No, you can do that through many ways. Why that way?
Why not? It is a way that actually hits a lot of the pleasure zones and causes stimulation.
Okay. I suppose I accept that.
It just seems like that'd be poo.
Well, I mean,
I don't trust men to be clean.
Like, they have enemas. Sure.
I don't trust men to be clean. Your entire gender is stinky.
You're not.
The look on Alexa's face.
You're making her second guess this whole like, I don't want to be in that hole.
No, the partners that I've had have been very clean for the most part. There's been a couple incidents, but.
A couple incidents. By the way, Gavin says,
"Oh, it's Mr. Gavin. Thirst is Gavin,"
and he's saying hi, and I'm sure he wants that.
Hi, Gavin.
Segue. I'm sure he wanted that segue. So you've had poo incidences. How do you deal with poo incidences? Instead of get it, poo incidences.
Incidences.
They're clean up.
Just clean up.
You clean up their poop?
No, I don't clean up. But there are different ways, but essentially most partners are very clean.
Yeah, I would imagine they have to kind of like you would take the extra step to want to make sure your person isn't how you say uncomfortable with your body. So you kind of make sure you're clean. You make sure you're ready, right?
Unless you're into the consensual non-consent, then you're going to be dealing with more poo because the person's not ready.
Well, they could prepare themselves, and it could be a specific night that the whole thing takes place, I imagine.
Unless you're talking about actual non-consent.
Well, no one's talking about our
wording. That's not consensual.
That's not CNC.
What do you mean?
Consensual non-consent is where you agree. You have let's say two people, right? The bird and the bee want to do it together, right? But the bee is like, I want you to do it to me without me wanting it on this day. And the bird's like, that's sus, but all right, let's do it. And so the bee's hanging out one day. The bee's aware, right, that this is the day that it's going to get attacked at some point. And then at some point in the day, the bird swoops in and just,
Okay, that's role playing. I thought you were describing like what Armie Hammer did to the chick where he actually, so Armie Hammer, for those who don't know, check it out, is seriously into like BDSM. Apparently he really hurt a couple of his partners. It's caused a serious problem. Personally, I think it kind of goes into the Marilyn Manson thing where he didn't properly prepare his partners.
Right.
But I don't think that makes him a rapist. As far as that goes, I don't know if he actually did rape anybody. That's not like.
Here's his thing. It shouldn't be guilty until proven innocent, but there is some merit to be taken away from when people say, hey, we agreed to this. He ended up doing this. I didn't agree to that.
He tried to find a doctor to remove a woman's ribs so he could eat them.
And did she agree?
No, that's why she still has her ribs.
Did it happen?
No.
Did he tell her about it?
Yeah.
Then it's listen, creepy, cannibalistic, illegal, but he did put it out there.
He put a belt around a chick's neck after beating her senseless.
Did she agree to that?
No.
Then that is the part. That's the part that we're talking about.
But he argues that she agreed.
And that's
in the beginning. She said it got too rough. I'm losing my headphones.
This is where we need contracts. What do you think contracts are a great idea when it comes to sex?
When a person says stop, you have to be able to stop.
I think NDAs are something that should definitely
I'm trying to fix my headphones.
Administered, especially if you have two people or even one person that has a settled career and you're playing with. I think that it's something that I've personally used with my partners previously.
Hang on, broke. By the way, the Armie Hammer thing, Bear's nickname for me was always Kitten.
Yeah. And then
neck beans and Armie Hammer have ruined that. Now I'm like looking at the cat headphones, looking at all the cute kitty stuff he got me, and I'm like, no, this isn't cute anymore. You're gross.
I can give you a different one. I can call you sleeve.
What is a sleeve?
Sleeve?
What is sleeve?
Nah, moving on.
No, I want to know. Will somebody tell me?
Yeah, someone write in the comments. Tell me what I mean by sleeve.
And I'll give you a ride at Off-Road Rentals.
That's not the giveaway.
That is the giveaway now, and it's your fault.
Write it to our channel on X, on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever. First person to write in, which I meant when I said that to Summer here, gets a free ride at Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California.
Watch, she's going to be looking it up on Urban Dictionary.
You're defeating the purpose of the competition then, aren't you? How accurate is Urban Dictionary? Now I'm thinking about it. Like, is that, can I go somewhere with a sexual question to Urban Dictionary and expect a realistic answer?
I think because there are, pardon?
10 bundles of heroin.
Yep, that's what I called you. Anyways.
I think that on Urban Dictionary, because it is user added, like you get a basic definition. After reading multiple, you'll get a general idea.
A derogatory term that explains one of base moral character and reduces them to having nothing more than a discardable sexual orientated device.
I think the definition of this one is bear sleeping on the couch.
That was a way more in-depth understanding of it than what I meant. But yeah, I mean, if you wrote that in like dummy terms.
Oh, you're certainly a dummy.
Oh my God. This is great. I love this. And I love you.
I won't fight with him in public. This will happen after the show. Alexis, when you're dealing with kink, I know that's something that a lot of people are ashamed of. Do you find that people will come to you rather than talk to partners?
Absolutely.
Why?
I've actually had several people approach me because they don't know how to speak with their partner. They have a specific kink or interest that they want to explore, but they don't know how to open up to it. And so one of the things that I post quite often on Kink4Dummies is how to open up with your partner, how to give examples of, interest. One of the things that was discussed is how you should speak with your partner previously about a certain scenario or a time that you experience this first interest, and discuss with them being something that you want to incorporate. Also use plain terms, not, specific, especially after you've done a great deal of research.
See, I never really thought about that. So people tend to have an issue with being open with each other more so than just kind of like a third party, a third entity away from their standard relationship.
Yes. But I think it's also easier for them to discuss it with somebody that is external to their relationship.
I mean, I can kind of see it because you think of it as a non-judgmental factor, right? Like I can get an unbiased opinion from someone who doesn't know me, and even if they know this about me, it doesn't impact me severely.
Kaylee, it's not charging. Sorry, I got to let you guys know we're trying to get the computer plugged in.
We're trying to plug our computer in.
You keep talking to Alexis while I figure this out. Kaylee, figure out what's wrong with the source down there.
Oh, we have an audience question from Gavin. What do you think about the use of toys?
I think it's a great idea, and I have several of them that I use. I definitely encourage it. It's some way to get external stimulation. There's different pleasures that you can receive from it. I highly encourage toys.
So is there a benefit to using them over like yourself? Like what can a toy do that I as a man or she as a woman can't do?
Well, it has additional vibrations, and obviously a tongue can only flick so quick.
Oh, I can vibrate really well.
You're not like you're better at bed than a vibrator.
See, it's really good vibration.
If you're doing that, I don't know how you're pleasing anyone.
I set myself up for that one.
Girls, this isn't working.
Our laptop is doing all sorts of things right now.
It's a bad plugin.
It's a bad plug. Bad, dirty plug. It should be punished.
At least that's on brand, I suppose.
So I think my next thing I'm curious about is, now that you've been doing this for so long, where do you intend to go with the platform? Are you just here as strictly informational for people? Do you want to open up some kind of maybe BDSM school, something you can do to educate people? What's your end goal here?
That's a terrible idea.
No, I have my career. This is just something that is a hobby and something that I personally enjoy, and I enjoy spreading accurate information out there.
I mean, that's pretty reasonable. I absolutely encourage that. Like, on my platforms, I talk a lot about manosphere as well, alpha male, red pill. I hate misinformation that can impact people negatively. So I really appreciate what you're doing, helping people understand more about themselves and what reality is when it comes to sex and different sexual activities, instead of having, well, porn essentially as a reference.
Hurry up.
Like,
it's about to die.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it. How do you feel about pornography?
I think that it is something that is great for stimulation, but I don't think it should be used as a source of information on how to perform certain acts. I know that it causes a great deal of issues because, especially hardcore people going too intense with a partner, it can cause damage. Obviously, the things that you see in movies aren't accurate. So, you know, when you see even down to the semen on the chick's face.
Find a different plug-in immediately. I don't care if the other one's plugged in. Find a different cord and plug in. Run.
All right.
Kaylee, this should have been set up in the beginning. Go on. So for those that don't know, Kaylee's my intern. She's working on learning how to operate in the film industry. She's doing, for the most part, a really, really good job. We're just having like the basic stuff set up on this kind of thing, keeping things plugged in, that sort of thing. Alexis is actually in charge of her, so it's Alexis that's going to end up in trouble for this.
Oh, no.
Speaking of BDSM, she's getting spanked up.
And punished.
I think that's illegal for you to do.
No.
Before we continue, real quick, to Mr. Thirst out there, my opinion on meeting 3 girlfriends. Are they your girlfriends, or are you trying to get them to be your girlfriends? Also, 3 is a very difficult number to maintain, especially if they don't know each other.
Well, I mean, if you're into a polyamorous,
polyamorous is totally different. Like,
Bear has difficulty maintaining 1.
Say it again.
Bear has difficulty maintaining 1.
Very much so. I do not. I can't imagine having multiple girlfriends at a time. That would be way too stressful. Like, I had my hoe days.
Didn't you have multiple girlfriends at one time?
No, I definitely had my hoe days, but it wasn't like a committed relationship where I had to dedicate time to each one of them. That's too much.
You dedicated a ton of time to me.
Well, yes. You are my girlfriend.
And I like diamonds you can see from space. You wouldn't want 2 of them.
That's the indication if I need to buy her diamonds.
But I'm
loud and clear, Commander. I got you.
You wouldn't want 2 of me. No. It would be a lot of work.
No, 2 of you would be excellent in some regards and detrimental in others.
I think it would be fantastic. Do you know how much work I could get done?
See, and that's beneficial to you. Can you see where having 2 of you would also be a problem?
How so?
Well, the moment you guys disagree, that's gonna. I'm moving out.
Why is that?
Because I won't survive the fallout.
How so?
I'm moving on. This is a line of questioning I'm not going to end well.
No. How so?
It's Gavin, by the way. Bear, been in your live streams for years. Get it right. Jesus Christ.
How so?
I'm not answering these questions.
So, in relationships, do you think kink is, if you've got someone that's really kinky and somebody that, say, is, what was I called? The ice queen, that's frigid as hell. I believe that was the term that was used.
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate that? Not that we need that.
What do you mean by compromise?
I think that you should agree on specific standards and, you know, be willing to give and take, just like any other relationship. There's things that are obviously going to be off limits. There's things that are going to be on the table. And
how do you make sex off limits but buying diamonds necessary?
That could be, I guess.
You find a new partner.
Excellent.
Wait, that doesn't mean replace me. What kind of advice is that? I think she said it because we're friends, but there are people out here who listen for real advice.
I think you should find somebody that's compatible, and I think there are specific kinks that are compatible, and I think that if you guys can't willingly meet each other on a level ground, that there are other people out there that could meet what you are specifically into.
So where can everyone find you? If they're into butt plugs and nonsense, where can they find you?
Kink4Dummies. Kink, the number 4, dummies.
And that's excellent. On all pages.
And if they want to know you personally, they can follow Alexis's Guide to Assistance.
It's Alexis CJ Romero.
Aren't you doing Alexis's Guide to Assistance?
Yes.
Hold on.
And Alexis CJ Romero.
Alexis CJ Romero.
She's got a lot of pages.
She does. She does very well with all of them, including Kink4Dummies. Follow up from the audience question, Gavin. I just have them at once with each other. I believe the best way I maintain all of them is keeping them together at once. Personally, they all live with me, although struggling with disciplining them. I guess he's disciplining them. What?
Are these children or girlfriends?
Girlfriends.
I guess each to their own.
Listen, if they're cool that they consent, more power to you and to them. What's your opinion?
Wait. Can we get another girlfriend in?
No. What's your opinion on polyamorous relationships? I don't want to
touch her, but I would really like additional help, and then I wouldn't have to touch you. And I still get the diamonds, right?
I think it is great if that is something that you are into. I personally am not into polyamory. Just because
I know, just the center of attention.
Yes,
he does too. Why is it that all the dummy people have to be the center of attention?
I beg your pardon?
Dummy people, like
dummy. Oh, they said dummy people.
Dom.
Dummy, like
dominant individuals,
overbearing assholes.
I like being called a dummy better.
You like being called a dummy better? Why do you guys all have to be the center of everything?
Why do we?
I think it's each to their own. Like, I've met doms that don't have to be the center of everything.
Do you have the
but I think that it also comes from a certain personality, somebody that likes to be in control or takes a great deal of pleasure from it.
Did she snot web? I have to tell you guys. Alexis, the show, and I'm finishing on this. Alexis has been sick, but she's been shooting what I call snot webs. It's on camera. You can find it on our live stream if you're following TuneIn BTS. We have a 24-hour live stream. She's been shooting these out of her nose. She's like the world's grossest Spider-Man.
I love having friends.
So what is one piece of advice at the very end of the show? Do make sure you are following us at TuneIn BTS. What is one piece of advice that you would give everyone if they want to talk with your partner
and do research?
I want diamonds, and I like them, and my brother sells them. That's my research.
And I will research the
I already did the research.
Remakes, best diamond dupes out there in the world.
I will leave you. I will leave him.
Oh my god!
No, it's all right. You don't have to. I want emeralds next. Talk to Landon. Shout out, by the way, to Matthew Morris Fine Jewelry. He does my jewelry. He does Alexis's. She actually wore, which earrings did you wear on the carpet? It was like some famous FBI dude.
Oh, I wore the
Herbert
Hoover's wife's onyx and diamond earrings.
They were spectacular to Fashion Week.
With gold clasp. Oh my god, they were beautiful, but they were extremely painful.
It hurt my soul to wear them.
Shout out to Landon. I need emeralds. You can that's my research. You can send them where they need to go.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Alexis. Thank you so much for what you do at Kink4Dummies.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here to answer all of our questions.
All joking aside, you is wonderful. Jumping back to the beginning of the show, I know people have said that kink and control can be a bad thing. I mean, look what's happening with Hank and the Skank. That's what we're calling Harry and Meghan right now.
Right. I think that's less BDSM, more abuse.
That's abuse, not BDSM.
There is a lot between BDSM and abuse. So if your partner says they're into BDSM and you don't feel safe, talk to a counselor, step back. Jump on Kink4Dummies. Seriously, learn what BDSM is before you play with it so you don't get hurt. Thank you very, very much for joining us here on Behind the Scenes. I'm Summer Helene. We're on with my co-host, Bear Fiorda, the baddest bear in the cage, and our very special guest, Alexis with Kink4Dummies. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk4Media.